only two things in life that make it worth living. It's Texas Aggie football and SEC women. But not for me, I'm married. We don't need the Sibs, Bears, or Okie lights. We got TexAgs and we got some good inside. Maybe it's time we got back to the basics of this board.
Is this supposed to be a duet?
Let's go to Looch Bock, TexAgs, Team of Leone and the boys.
I will not partake.
Let's talk about a new conference has us fighting like the good old Johnson boys.
Do that. Doing it backwards, though. It's metal.
Well, we figured 4 years was long enough. Looch and Bock together again. Howdy, TexAgs. It is an absolute honor to be in this studio, which is unbelievable. And fun fact, first time I've ever walked in this studio.
I was about to say, have you been in here? Because obviously you've been in that one in both capacities. I know you've been in. You had come in after you went to become a real estate mogul, but you've come in, but you've never been in
I've
this
come
one.
in, and like when I've come in, haven't thought about it, and have gone upstairs, said hi, or come back here, and the door's been shut, and haven't even thought about it. But when I watch, I'll see Jimmy Turner up on the board, and it's like, I got to get over there. It looks unbelievable. But I got to tell you, Billy, it's a little bit just mind-blowing because of where we started. This show started just now with the worst song ever recorded. And
it wasn't
became
bad.
the namesake for this show. But look at the red room and what we had to deal with the lights popping in the train.
And how far it was.
It was terrible.
Well, I'll tell you, first of all.
And now look at this.
First of all, you know you're a big part of this. It goes without saying. Everybody knows that.
I appreciate it, man.
Sometimes you like hearing those type things, right? But
on day
that
one,
song,
first 5 minutes,
let me tell you, that song, it wasn't that long ago that you know me, like I can't go. People think I have like complete control of like TexAgs Twitter, which I don't even have a login for, or the site. And and anyone that knows me knows my lack of mobility around the back end of this site. So I had to text like Zane or somebody, and I said, hey, find that video.
I can't believe you found
of Gabe and them singing the Luke and the one about Petrino.
Which is even worse.
What was that song?
Broken Hogsville.
Broken Heartsville, which is a song that I ended up loving like 10 years later.
Yeah, we ruined that one too. We ruined Waylon, Willie, and Joe Nickel.
He took out a lot of people. But I actually sent those two videos to Casey Smith I'm literally within the last month.
Is that right?
Yeah.
I can't believe you found it. I actually looked because I was going to delete it. I think maybe I still have access and can maneuver through the back end of TexAgs, unlike the
You were
owner.
going to go in the dark of night, remove that.
That was the day that you said, if you don't get a hold of Jorts, we're done.
We might have been done as a company.
It's an idea that started with breakfast meetups, coffee. We're hanging out at Broken Egg. Megan Bock has been leaning on me a little bit to kind of get something going, get out of the house a little more, get out of the office a little more, do some sports. And that's kind of where it started. Eventually, the idea with Billy was maybe it's time we go back to the basics. Let's go Looch Bock, TexAgs, Billy, Gabriel, and the boys. So here we are, right? Episode 1 of a weekly football show on all TexAgs channels. And as I found out Monday by listening to Billy's announcement while in Memphis for a charity event with St. Jude, we're doing it live.
I did.
And that's when I said, well, I have a 3:31 p.m. flight out. Let me see if I can move it. Thankfully, I moved it to 7, woke up at 4:45 this morning, and I'm here right now doing it live.
You left the Hotel Ducks in Memphis.
I got them right here on my shirt, though. Peabody.
Oh, wow. Nice. I love that.
The Peabody is one of my favorite hotels in the entire country.
It is.
Hands down. It's the perfect hotel.
I just got my mountain trip in. I waited till the last second this summer.
May or may not have seen a grizzly.
Yeah, what's up? It's up for debate, but either way, it was a giant bear. Probably
massive.
bigger than some Grizzlies. But,
Yeah.
That's a trip that I feel like you and Megan and the kids, have y'all done that? Yeah, I
2
feel
years
like
ago, we did Yellowstone.
that's an absolute, like, they're of that perfect
magical.
age. Like, if I had kids, I think between 10 and 15, you would
Yeah.
absolutely bring them to
I'm glad you did that. What a way to get prepped up and ready to go for football season.
You go from the great outdoors to the great unwashed of the SEC, and so I'm ready to roll.
Here we are.
Saturday.
Yep, absolutely. Hey, it's a football show for now. I'm going to keep doing it as long as I'm still having fun.
Yeah.
If it starts feeling like a job, I'm out.
Basketball,
so as long as we're having
baseball.
fun and y'all like it, hit that like button. Whatever kids do, I don't know. We didn't really have a YouTube show when I was here. A lot of things have changed.
Yeah.
When I left, Jimbo was the football coach. Buzz was a newer basketball coach here, and Jim Schlossnagel got introduced the day before my last show. A lot has changed.
Lots changed.
This whole, and this is the credit to Nuno too, of growing the show, adding to the lineup, and all he's done on top of this studio.
Yeah.
But it's the YouTube focus and branching out and the name change and everything else. I can't tell you how great it feels to be in this room right now, because I've seen it from the infancy, really, in a lot of ways. And to see where TexAgs is now, it's miles ahead. I thought I left it in the adolescent stage of its growth, and now it's a full-blown adult. And frankly, there's not a single person who covers college football that doesn't either A, know you exist, which is a huge thing for Texas. People don't realize this. Oh, well, Billy knows everybody. He's great at networking. Well, guess what? Those people are calling him before going on national television to get insight on A&M, which helps them talk better about A&M because they're actually getting an insight of what's going on. I may choose not to, but he's doing his part, you know? Yeah, so, and your profile is incredible compared to where it was even 4 years ago. So
it's been fun. And we could do a whole separate, and we probably should one day, just do a whole separate off-season series of just bringing people in.
Oh, yeah.
I'm talking about from TexAgs to former players to former coaches to, I was texting with Zwerneman this morning. I just felt like I just sent him a text of a picture of Olin and Cease yesterday at the presser in Hawaiian shirts. And I just
said, it was like a Iveta in a Hawaiian shirt. They're making new style.
I hope this image finds you well. That's all I said. But
Brent Z would be great, but he says no more than anybody.
No, we'll get Brent on here for sure. Brent, he would do that for us, just for the comedy hour. Brent would come in here just to laugh.
Oh, it'd be fun. It'd be fun.
So, gosh, you just said that, and I was thinking about it. New AD, new head football coach, new head baseball coach, new head basketball coach.
I've never met Trevor.
New chancellor, new president. Complete across the board.
Yeah.
And you've been gone 4 years, not 40.
It's changed. Plus, I left. My last show was June 11th, 2021. And what happened July 1st?
Wait. I don't know.
The official launch of NIL.
That was
I haven't presided over any of that stuff.
So this is just...
Everything is so different. The portal was there. People were like, well, is it a portal? Do you get in it? Remember how it was mysterious. Now it's just it's a common part of life.
Yeah, it's what you do.
Literally have one returning basketball player, and we're all geeking out over it, right? But if that happened 4 years ago, you'd be like, what in the world's going on here?
I have a hard time even... It makes it so weird in today's day and age because I have a hard time even talking about, young quarterbacks. Because you're going, what do they have to sit 2 years? Well, then they're probably not going to be. And it's a terrible way to look at it and think. But it is, that's how coaches have to think. And they have to realize very early, man, we can't afford to lose this guy. So let's start getting 10 steps ahead.
For sure. Yeah, I can see that for sure. And credit to A&M, their football staff, for retention. You got a Dabo, and I give him a lot of heck. Who doesn't give Dabo a lot of crap? But he hasn't taken a single transfer yet. I don't know how they're in the top 5 in today's world with him going totally against the grain. We'll see if it works, but from a talent perspective, they could still be 1, 2, fight for national and be as good as Georgia, but they're not doing it that way, but they're still top 5.
It's a very interesting there's a really interesting dynamic this weekend at play because Brian Kelly, nuked the portal.
Right.
And all our old buddies in Baton Rouge, they're doing the same thing they do every year. They're thinking national title, best defense ever. Same thing they did with Bo Pelini. Same thing,
They ought to be worried about going 1-0.
Yeah.
Because he hadn't done that yet.
Yeah, and it's Portal Central versus homegrown and keep it. Look, if Dabo wins this one, it will be a huge feather in his cap, and in Clemson,
no doubt.
For the Tigers, because look, last year they played a couple SEC teams, 3, and they were 0-3, right?
Exactly.
South Carolina and then Texas and Georgia, and 2 of those games really got knocked on their head.
That's right. Carolina was on an absolute heater when they played.
Klubnik is a fascinating dude because, Wigman, it's TBD at U of H, but those were the big 3, were Ewers, Wigman, and Klubnik.
Mm-hmm.
And so much in our world and in the state has been about Ewers, 7th-round pick, never made it to New York for a Heisman. Then you had Connor, who's again TBD, but it didn't work out for him at A&M.
Right. Yep.
Meanwhile, Cade Klubnik goes there, didn't look amazing early on, and has just gotten better and better and better. And man, if I was a betting man, I'd have. He wins this game Saturday. There's very strong odds he's going to lead them to a top 5 finish and a playoff berth and maybe a spot in New York.
Yeah, could be a first-round pick. But I'll say this right now: I don't think he's the best quarterback in that state. I love that quarterback.
Sellers,
I love Lenore Sellers.
I do too.
I mean, he's like a combo of he's got Johnny elusiveness and the ability just to find space, but he's got Cam Newton strength.
I was about to say that's the name I was gonna.
He's unreal.
Do you think? Hang on one sec, Nick. I got real issues on this.
Turn your pack down, Billy. That's what they're saying.
Turn it
Does that
down.
matter?
Okay, go ahead. Yeah,
I've been in the studio
I
for
can
4
hear
minutes,
you.
but I think I figured out the earphone issues.
Maybe it's possible, but we'll keep going with this.
All right.
But Sellers, here's where I'm at with South Carolina. Tell me what you think about this. I think Lenora Sellers is going to be better. There's so much room for him to improve as a passer, and I thought he started to at the end of the year.
Yep.
I think he's going to be better, but I don't think South Carolina is going to be as good a team. Does that make sense?
They may be a more talented team overall, but they were on one like Sherman was in 10.
Yeah.
11 could have been better than 10, but we were on a heater in 6-game winning streak, right? The 11 had everybody back but a guy named Von Miller, which was a big loss. But almost everyone else back, and we weren't nearly as good.
Hodges.
And Michael Hodges, which was huge, which we found out, right? Yeah. Because when he went out in the first or second drive against LSU, we saw what they did to us.
Yeah.
Was that when we made Jefferson and the kid out of Hempstead look like
Tolliver, who's over here? I saw him at practice not long ago. He's coaching. I don't want to get this wrong because they're rivals, but I believe at Rudder.
Interesting.
I believe at Rudder.
So he's local.
He's been.
Remember, that's Jay Jettis' brother that knifed us.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which is wild.
I saw him at a A&M practice, and then actually met and got to know Matt Flynn a little bit this summer at SEC Media Day. So we were actually talking about him as well. So Flynn was telling me how close.
Second Matt Flynn reference today. Randy McCown.
McCown mentioned him?
Yeah.
Our Mac. So Flynn actually told me how close he was to flipping to A&M. Do you know? Remember the timeline there?
No, he's East Texas, right?
He was committed to Bama from Tyler Lee.
Yeah.
Fran almost flipped him.
He was committed to Fran.
Yep.
In 02.
Fran came over.
Wow.
I'm sorry, he wasn't committed to Bama. He was committed to LSU. So here's a wild connection with Matt Flynn. Fran, he was going to flip to come with Grant Dickey, his high school teammate, one of his best friends. And you know who convinced him to stay at LSU? Or he was flipping to come with Fran to A&M.
Jimbo.
Yep. Jimbo Fisher.
That's wild.
Yeah, pretty interesting. He's got some good stories. But
Looch
yeah,
Bock.
so I just Sellers in South Carolina.
Now they don't have Rocket. That's a big loss.
Rocket in that defense. And they still have Dylan Stewart, but they lost a lot. Might have Gabe Brownlow-Dindy starting at defensive tackle.
Oh, interesting.
But Sellers, Lagway, Nussmeier, Arch Manning.
Don't tell the guys in Austin if you rank Arch Manning outside of number 1. You'll get
Jordan Rogers found that out today.
Oh, did he really?
He questioned him, had the audacity. And by the way, everyone's acknowledging how good he could really be. I think we all know that.
For sure. But you get tired head over it because his name's Manning.
Yeah.
We got to see it. You still have to see it play out.
And we might see it this weekend. And it might, and he still might have some ups and downs. That Ohio State defense returns like 2 or 3 starters. And Matt Patricia's in his first game at the college level.
Yeah.
So there could be.
This is where you come in where I'm not doing it every day. That helps me because I think, Caleb Downs, best defensive player in college football.
The 3 they have coming back are great.
Jeremiah Smith, arguably the best offensive player in college football. Ohio State rolls. I hate Texas.
Carnell Tate.
But again, I don't have the same perspective as you do.
Well,
I'm getting back in the reps, in the mix. So it's interesting hearing you say that.
You'll like this story. I'm at the Super Bowl week in New Orleans this year. I had a little party with, not a party. It was Chris Long was doing his podcast, who I actually set them up, him and Dan together. And if you want to see some great Dan Campbell, go watch Chris Long and him talk X's and O's and talk ball and have some fun. Like that's highly recommend the Green Light podcast.
Okay.
He's on Inside the NFL now. For people like me and you, that's such a big deal.
Oh, yeah.
But Chris is an awesome dude. I met him 2 summers ago, or 2 Super Bowls ago with Stanford Steve and Rosillo, SVP, and those guys. He's just one of those dudes. And he's recording the podcast at his house. He rented a house in New Orleans for the week, and they've got it's a great concept. Like if A&M were ever to go play, and for all the stakes, maybe even something you do at Omaha the next time they get back. But everyone coming through the house, gift bag, like a nice Yeti bag full of stuff. And
what'd you bring him?
So and he's actually done a couple posts in his TexAgs.
No way.
Yeah. So I went over there.
That's awesome. I need the black one.
And they're recording all day, but they've got chefs out there cooking, kind of like we've got right now outside with some great barbecue.
Oh, my gosh.
Great barbecue.
Josh Holloway.
Josh Holloway's
the
family.
only Bucky player, right, to come over here in a transfer.
Yep.
And his parents have moved their business to Bryan College Station to do food trucks and catering.
Food truck Friday nights, right over here, right outside the couple of buildings down in Aggieland Outfitters parking lot.
Wow.
So
that's awesome. It tastes incredible.
So they had that. They had chefs out there. They had a bartender, a pool. Everybody's just kind of sitting outside talking.
Yeah.
Turns out his producer, dad, went to A&M and is an Aggie. Grew up in New Jersey. Yeah, my dad's an Aggie. What? Why? Was he in the? No, he went to A&M. It was something to do with his major. But anyway, we're sitting there talking. He runs Barry Sanders through there. It's like, he interviews Barry.
You see Sanders walk through there?
It's right before I got there. I missed him.
Okay.
But then, a couple other players you'd recognize. And then the guy sits down next to me. We start talking, and I don't even recognize him. It's Matt Patricia.
How do you not recognize Matt Patricia?
We talk about Ty Warren. He's asking me about Bethel Johnson.
Oh, yeah.
He's talking about every Aggie he knows. Aaron Glenn he knew well. Yeah. He says, my favorite is Ray Mickens. Talking about Ray. Then we start talking about Dan because he was at, how the whole deal. And,
did he spend time with the Jets? With Parcells?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think he really, I think, regrets not taking that Giants job when he had the opportunity. He's a New York Italian, like Matt Patricia. So we hey, let's stay in touch, yada, yada. Within a week, he's talking to me about college football and NIL and how different. Within a week, he's taken the Ohio State job.
He didn't say anything about it?
No, but
wow.
If they win, you may see me drop that picture of us.
I'm surprised you're not on the sideline.
Just drop that picture.
Hey, it's a big noon kickoff.
We've been plotting this one for a while.
Exactly.
Could you imagine?
I mean, I have half of mine to see you down there on the sidelines and then jet back here and get back here by the middle of the second quarter. That's my expectation.
I want to go. I'll tell you what. Ohio State, Penn State, bye week for A&M. That's the one I want to go.
There you go.
Yep.
Does that line up with September 20th or November 1st?
November.
Oh, that's going to be great.
That'd be a big one.
Looch Bock, presented by Bock Realty Group. Luxury, new construction, first-time home buying, investment, real estate, and more. BRG, a 2-time Aggie 100 company. We're very thankful to be number 1 in sales volume in our market back-to-back years.
And you're still going to get me in a house soon.
Hey, I've been talking to you about this for Since way before I even thought about real estate.
I'm that dude that's so content. Like, you
Hey.
got to pry me out of whatever situation I'm in. It's partly because I don't have a wife or anyone like.
He's the equity king. He's lived in 2 houses since I've known him. And you got to keep in mind, I waited tables in college and was his waiter at Chili's first.
1 house ago.
1 house ago. Like long before I even made $6.50 an hour answering phones for Chip Howard. $30 a week. I only got to do 2 days a week. 2 hours, 2 days a week. Billy is coming in. Billy Clyde's hanging out at the bar eating chicken crispers every day at 11 o'clock. Then he'd take a nap at noon. It's the only time he'd sleep every day. And then he'd go coach. And here's Billy. He lived in the other house, and he's only moved once.
That's crazy. But
so over and under on when I get to represent Billy is about another 4.5 years.
Here might be the thing. You design a house.
I can do that.
And then just present it and say, now you just let me know where we're going to build this house.
Excellent. All right, look, TexAgs, this is unbelievable. Like, I got way too emotional the last time I left this place on air. So I'm not going to do that, but a little hint of emotion, 100%, seeing what you, Brandon, Josh, Hunter, Nuno, and just where it is right now. This is amazing. You know, hearing Sick Olin's dulcet tones all last week.
What was that?
Harnessing his Jim Schlossnagle voice.
My mom called me and was asking, is Olin okay?
You know, in this room. And here we are, you know, doing it again. So it's a lot of fun. Now I'm just ready to watch A&M win some big-time football games. And in the stinking, and I like Hester, but I think he has a lot to do with it because I don't turn on Sirius without hearing Texas 8-4. I think he started that.
Jacob says that?
Yeah.
All right, we're going to get on his ass.
Yeah, we got to because I do like him. I think he's a good guy. But I hear that every time A&M's mentioned on Sirius XM, and I absolutely despise that nickname. But the only way you can't do anything about it
because it hits home.
Well, it does. It's true.
There's some truth.
That's the issue. And so we got to just start winning some big football games.
What they don't want to hear, and I tell T-Bob and Jacob this, because I don't start it. I don't go and say, I don't go make fun of LSU. We beat them. I talk crap for about 24 hours on Twitter. If A&M's Texas 8-4, LSU's LS 9-3, like, and I know they get the benefit of the doubt nationally because they have won 3. And my God, they won 3 since I've been covering A&M. There's no comparison. Program success in the last quarter century, there's no comparison. Not saying that. What I am saying is that since A&M's joined the SEC, LSU has lost at least 3 games a year, every year except 1. 12 out of 13 years, they've lost at least 3.
That's pretty
They've
wild,
played it for an SEC title twice in 13 years. One was after a year A&M beat the brakes off of them here at Kyle Field, where they went 9-3, kind of backdoored their way in, and then got shoved off the field by Georgia.
Yep.
And then one was, the greatest team. Well, I wouldn't say up there with the greatest teams I've ever seen.
Oh, there's no doubt.
We've seen some great ones.
Particularly offensive
Saban's
weapons everywhere.
Bamas.
Yeah.
Stoops OUs, late Nebraska. We've seen a lot.
Would you say the best 2 receivers in pro football?
Yeah.
Are both LSU
I think
grads
so. I
the
think
same
you'd have
year?
a hard time, and a Pro Bowl quarterback, and probably a Super Bowl quarterback one day, or he has already been.
So I mean, there's that, and that eliminates a lot of the negativity on their part.
Yeah,
A&M's got to just get back to doing that,
but
or at least get out of this, get in this 9-10, take this year, and have yourself a breakthrough, whatever that looks like.
And you know what it probably looks like? The more and more I think about it, and it's interesting where we're on this topic. I know I want to see them beat Notre Dame, and I know what that would do for the profile, and I know what that would do for the conversation in this first half of the season for Mike Elko and this program.
Yeah.
So I do think it's bigger. I think it's the bigger game. But if I want to see A&M in a playoff this year and they want to overachieve, now Alyssa Lang just picked them to go.
Yeah, she's been on A&M.
And T-Bob picked us with the same record I did, 9-3. And the ultimate one that likes to, check me, Atwell, Amanda picked us 9-3 too.
Did she?
She laughed at my prediction of the playoff, and then we got to talking about it. I said, hey, by the way, we're both picking the same record. I just have some weird path where an SEC team gets in at 9-3 this year as the 4th, and it's A&M.
Well,
Either
South Carolina
way,
was this close to doing it. last year, right?
Yeah, that's a great example. So, but in order to get there, either to get to 10-2, or either to, work your way in at 9-3. To do that, you have to beat the other contenders, South Carolina, Notre Dame.
For sure.
They might be a 10-2 versus a 9-3 A&M that beat them in their house. South Carolina, Florida potentially, depending,
Can't trip on any of those landmines. Auburn.
At LSU.
Yep.
I think whether it's to get to 10 or to get in either one, in other words, to get to the playoff, I think this team has to win at LSU and make them LSU 8-4, make yourselves A&M 9-3 or 10-2.
Yeah.
They got to figure out a way to break through them.
No question. Well, at first it was, when are we going to beat them? When we first got in the SEC.
Yeah.
And once we did, we hadn't lost here yet. And I say we because I'm a fan.
Yeah.
All right. I'm a fan now. I'm a season ticket holder, so I can do that.
I think we always could.
Yeah.
Try not to.
And so you kind of vanquish that demon. We don't have lost to him since, right, at
Yeah.
Kyle. But then I was a 13-year-old watching Leland run all over the field the last time A&M went over there and beat them.
I was a young.
God, I'd love to see that happen this year.
You know how long ago that was? I was in school.
You were here?
Oh, yeah. I was in school.
Yeah.
Like 94. Yeah, because they played here in 95 and 93. So like 94, that was Leland's 2 touchdowns late. Corey Pullig was, I don't know if I lived with him at the time, but we lived together, I think, at least in the summer over at Treehouse Village. But remember that game. And after the game, this was so long ago that you could go up to RC and Hunter and the late, great Bob Goodwin and said, Hunter, they're riding home with they're going to ride home. You could leave the game and ride home with your parents. So we all went out on Bourbon Street and then all carpooled and drove home on a Sunday down I-10 all day.
That's unbelievable.
How long ago.
Regular season players could just go and just say they're going home with their parents.
Right, like in junior high, I'm going to ride home with my parents. And that was how different times were.
That's why everybody, when you bring up Johnny, look, if Bucky had Twitter, he would have been the same thing. I'm just bringing one example out of 100. Yeah. That's a quote from Bucky.
Yeah.
If I had Twitter, it would be the same.
You had 2 head coaches on that team, too, back then. 2 NFL, one's not right now. Actually, was Aaron Glenn? Yeah. No, Aaron Glenn got done in 93.
93, right? But
you had Dan and Dennis Allen.
That's
crazy
incredible.
to think of, yeah.
All right, so there are several landmines. I've got 3 little circles here, and I got Auburn kind of bleeding into the second landmine, right? Okay. But when you think about the Notre Dame Auburn back-to-back, or that 3-headed stretch of Auburn, Mississippi State, or Florida, or then those 3 road trips in a row.
Like 2 3-headed trips.
Look, I think Sankey, his people, make the schedule for the people they want to win most.
Yeah.
And then they figure out the rest. Like, okay, well, a 3-6 model, who's left? Well, let's give A&M Mizzou. Or okay, well, shoot, I guess A&M will just play all but one game on the road the entire back half of the schedule, and nobody is going to say anything about it. We're going to bark, but that's it.
I think you're right and wrong. I think you're right about the top end. I don't think it's. I do question a lot of this Texas first 2-year schedule versus what we're seeing in Norman, but that doesn't make sense to me either. Because why would you not want to prop OU up as their? That's a blue blood historic program every bit as much as Texas. And frankly, they've dominated the Longhorns the last, since Bob Stoops' arrival.
Mm-hmm.
But so it doesn't add up in that regard. But you look at what they gave Texas in that. You look at the Longhorns in baseball, the way that schedule laid out.
How did you not have the mind to give the Longhorns a road trip over here?
Yeah, or just any road trip besides Arkansas.
Exactly.
How about Baton Rouge? How about they went to Starkville? How about Oxford? How about Gainesville? How about who else are we talking?
Well, we found out it
Nashville?
was a little phony.
Yeah,
it was a little phony.
Yeah, it was. You saw that in the postseason. They weren't.
There's no question.
It helps you, and their fans hate acknowledging this. It really helps you to play at home in this conference because the difference between home and road is massive.
Yep.
And
sport.
So I don't think they go, let's make it easier on the Georgias, Alabamas, Texas, or whoever's a power at that time, or the biggest brand. But I do think they probably go out of their way not to make it too difficult and then work off of that.
It's kind of like Olin's always had that expression. The officials have a firm sense of who is supposed to win the game going into the game.
Yeah.
Same thing here, with this schedule here. But when you look at the schedule, if you broke it down to like a 2-game or 3-game stretch, you say this is most vital.
Mm-hmm.
What stretch
What's yours?
Oh, I think we're going to know a lot more about this team before October 1st.
Oh,
to me, I think it's at Notre Dame when they've got that 3-headed monster at running back. Don't forget the Dennison kids who killed us last year with some long runs.
Long touchdown. And by the way,
he may be the third best one.
I watched. You couldn't get him here, could you, Gabe?
I tried. Hal tried. Hal loved him, remember?
He did. Hal did like him.
And I'm telling Robinson, it's like, we're out looking at others and got others.
Yeah, they got a nice running back.
Yeah, we got this guy named Moss coming. That's not bad.
My problem, not my problem, but I want Le'Veon Moss to watch this video every day from now until we play Notre Dame, because I was watching it. It's to the tune, the slowed up version of Like a Prayer. Have you ever heard that operatic version?
Yes.
And they put highlight video, and it's that run. By Jeremiah Love, who, by the way, A&M finished an agonizing second for. The Aggies loved Jeremiah Love. They wanted him out of St. Louis bad. And that was, Howell was all over that recruitment. That was all over the place, back and forth.
Was he St. Louis?
I think so.
Okay.
But they wanted him. And I think they kind of got their guy like him in Jamarian Morrow. We'll talk about him, I think, a lot this year.
I've heard you talk nonstop about him, Cam.
But that run against Penn State in super slow-mo to that music, I'm like, if that ain't a grown man run. You heard Le'Veon Moss yesterday to Olin? Did you hear that quote?
No.
Oh.
No.
Olin asked him, will you think more about running out of bounds to preserve your health? And
what'd he say?
I mean, I'm laughing because I'm like, sometimes OB will ask a good question. It's like, come on, what the answer is. What? And
he's trying to get that quote.
And he got it.
Did he?
Or he's actually, in Olin's mind, he probably thinks you should run about it. He'll argue with you why. And I think there are times to, but Le'Veon Moss says, no. Yeah. I'm a grown man. He said, I'm a grown man. And I paraphrase, but it was basically like, I'm a grown man. Like, I'm not ever running out of bounds. He's like, that's like backing down from a fight.
We need Nick to
It was a great quote.
That's fantastic.
It's a great quote, and I hope, and Olin said this morning, I hope that mindset is what this football team's mindset is. Because, Gabe, have you looked at that O-line and the size? I was looking at it yesterday.
Oh, my gosh.
315, 325, 318, like all the way across, all that experience.
Yeah. Crownover's what, 330 plus?
Yeah. 337. These running backs, like, if they have that mentality, they can knock dudes off the ball. And watching this team practice and hearing what I've heard and seeing what I've seen, there's going to be a verticality to this passing game that was not there, not just last year, but in a long time. What does that do to the safeties? And then if you got that O-line and Moss and Owens and company and Marcel Reed doing, like.
You got to count for the legs. Yep.
So going back to that schedule, I'm with you.
Yeah, because Auburn's just good enough to be dangerous.
If they're undefeated in September, then everyone will be talking about this team as a playoff contender, and rightfully so. And they're not. There's a long way to go. Mine is this. Because you got that bye week after Notre Dame and you got Auburn coming to Kyle Field, mine is actually those 3 road games in a row, and there's a bye in there. But, man, at Arkansas, you have to win it.
Oh, man.
You have to win it, and it's a tough place to play against a team. You know this. You shaved your beard after one of those losses, didn't you, or was that a Cotton Bowl?
I shaved my beard after a loss. Was it Arkansas?
It was Arkansas or LSU. It was at the Cotton Bowl.
It was a Cotton Bowl.
I
think it was LSU. Yeah. When LSU beat us in the middle of the
2010.
night.
Yeah, you might have been.
And you were up there in the hotel room because we were on a budget back then. Y'all aren't now, clearly. But you were then.
Yeah, we are.
And I'm like, I don't know if Billy's by himself in that room or not. So I'm just going to go down to the hotel lobby and shave my beard.
In the lobby bathroom.
I mean, how many bad songs have we come up with? We did Here's a Quarter while we were shaving.
I think you just sang the actual song. Could you
beard.
imagine if someone had walked in and seen your crazy ass shaving your beard in the
It was 3:15. Not a
common
soul was
bathroom?
up in the hotel.
That's the kind of stuff you get like arrested for. Like somebody goes and calls the cops at 3. Hey, it's 3 in the morning.
Yeah.
There's a guy singing Travis Tritt, videoing himself shaving his beard in the lobby bathroom.
He must be strung out on meth.
Yeah, 100%.
I never thought about that until right now.
Very lucky.
I'm
He wouldn't have got arrested, but you would have had to explain yourself in front of it would, and then it would have been videoed.
Oh my gosh.
For sure.
Yeah. All right. So this segment is called Riding That Camp High. And this is a one-off segment.
Yeah.
Now this is it. Going into the year. Give me a name on offense you think is absolutely seeing his stock explode right now as we're into post-camp and heading, because you've been there a lot, right? I mean, you're watching, you're talking to people.
And the good news is there's a few
offensively.
Of them.
Give me offense first.
The good news is there's a few of them, but I'll go with the one everybody's been talking about. I've been talking about him since last fall. And you know how this deal goes.
Yep.
We're going to hold it against Liucci for saying this guy was going to be good and he wasn't. But if he is, we're never going to acknowledge that no one was talking about him before he was. That's Ashton Bethel-Roman. He had a great end of season, practicing. People were talking about him. Tremendous spring, even better fall camp, and a good off. Everyone in that locker room has seen this coming, and he's a home run threat. And he's a playmaker. He's got everything you want at receiver, and then you combine that with that whole group. Because I could have mentioned Concepcion and Mario Craver. We don't talk about near enough, but I'm going to go with Bethel-Roman. And my number 2 that has to be mentioned, because another one we don't talk about enough, is Nate Berkacher.
Nebraska.
Tight end from Nebraska.
Okay, good.
He can block. You're going to think of him as just a blocker because he's a big, brawny-looking dude, but he can get in a route and catch and use his big frame to get the football. So those are the 2 that stand out to me as we enter the season.
We thought about Max Wright as only a blocker until we didn't.
Yeah.
So hopefully he'll go out there and prove he's not, and he can do both.
And I like
That's
Max,
great.
but think about Max had he played tight end only his whole career.
True. Yep, good point. ABR, a lot of people be talking about him if Wiggins hadn't come here because he'd probably be wearing crimson. Yeah. Is he that kind of player? This is the kind of guy he used to coach over there.
He's got that speed.
Yeah.
He's got that speed. Now, he'll get chances. He's going to have to show, you can consistently go up, down the field and get that 50-50 ball. Or when you get behind the defense, get under it and make a play. But he is consistently showing that.
That's great. All right, defensively. Who's the name you're looking at? Maybe he wasn't on your radar, but maybe he was. Mm-hmm. But stock is just exploding right now.
I would say a couple of new faces I'm particularly fired up about. I would say Tyler Onyedem at D tackle, and I know we're excited about him when we got him, but I think these last couple weeks you're starting to go, man, this guy has a chance to be really good. And I don't know what numbers he puts up on the inside, but he's quick with his hands. He's really athletic. I think he's on the field for you in an even or an odd front. He's really versatile and valuable, and I think he's going to be pretty disruptive. I think he's ready to be an impactful newcomer. My second one, Des Ricks had an outstanding camp, but the guy that I think, and I think Des might end up being your most improved player. We're going to find out starting this week, and they're going to go at him. You don't think UTSA saw his tape last year and said, we're going to try to go at this guy this week? So Des will get tested right off the rip. Absolutely. But the guy whose stock is really going up, which is tremendous for this cornerback position, is Julio Humphrey, the Georgia transfer.
The second blanket.
And he's starting to really turn a corner. So, no pun intended, but you think about cornerback, and you think of Will Lee, you think of an improved, uber-talented Des Ricks, and then you think of a guy in Humphrey, and I know I've heard people go, well, he ended up losing his job at Georgia. Yeah, he also won a job for Kirby Smart at Georgia and started 10 games last year. So
yeah. Oh, that's
depth,
huge.
man. Depth and not having to play Ricks or Lee 600 snaps, and getting Chappelle back. So that position, I think, is going to be really improved. But again, they're going to be trial by fire by Owen McCown and company.
Well, what'll help too is if you can get to the quarterback. It looks like on paper there's athletes to go do that this year.
Yeah,
there was athletes on paper to do it last year. Stewart and Scorton did combine. Not they had bad years and they did pressure.
They missed a lot of sacks.
But they combined for 6.5.
Yeah.
So this group has got to get home at the quarterback this year, which is going to help.
And I think they will. My concern for that group up front is just going to be it's kind of an interesting concern because last year my concern was the receivers, Gabe. Could they get open? Could they make plays? And that was my big concern. And I think it cost them games last year. This year my concern is the defensive front, and I mean the defense in general, like tackling the run. You mentioned your guy from Denison up there in South Bend ripped off that long touchdown. That was a killer, and that was run fit. And you can think of many other. You can get that Texas game here early in that Auburn game, and that South Carolina game we brought up. Can this new look front hold up against the teams that are going to say we're going to line up and run it at you, and we're going to do it for 4 quarters? Hopefully, the A&M offense will make it to where it's hard for teams to kind of commit to and continue that. But that will be my question mark for this football team. And I'm not saying they can't because it kind of flies in the face of what Mike Elko, what does he do? You've covered him. He stops the run.
He stops the run. He holds you to 3 points instead of 7.
Yeah.
Last time he was calling ball plays here, A&M average giving up 15 points a game. Yeah. Even if it's 22. I think it's better than it was at the end of last year, right?
So that's my concern, but it also comes with a little bit of a caveat.
Yeah, interesting. Well, I like that Rylan Kennedy's almost quite literally twice as strong as he was a year ago.
It's crazy.
And I like that you don't only have to rely on him because he's probably coming in special packages still, right? I mean, 3rd and 8, you get him on the field, but you also have Marco Jones challenge him. And we had a coach here who used to say competition is the coach's best friend. I love the edge guys, and you've been talking all about the strong side guys.
Cassius Howell's a freak. Oh, Cassius Howell and Will Lee, like people outside of A&M are not talking about them as potential like all SEC football players, and they are. NFL people are talking about Howell a lot, if you hadn't noticed. Like that's starting to get some buzz.
Yep.
But yeah, like I just think they have a nice combo of guys over there in Deion Hayes. 15 sacks or so at Pitt, maybe 14. And then TJ Searcy's played a lot of ball at Florida. They've got a nice group of guys. You mentioned Marco. Like, there's going to be guys and bodies you're going to see who's playing the best.
Oh, man.
I'm really intrigued by Hayes on that edge.
You only look at I spend time looking at Colorado. I'm like, all right, nice little piece.
Yeah.
You start peeling back that onion a little bit.
Because he got hurt. He was hurt there at Colorado and only played in what? I think he had a couple sacks in 3 games or 3 sacks in 4 games, whatever it was. And then you go back to Pitt and playing for Narduzzi. I think it gets a little more interesting. Yeah. And then you talk to these linemen. And that's the big difference now, Gabe. You mentioned it. Like, now we get the players coming in here regularly for Texas Aggies United interviews and content we're producing with them, and you get to kind of talk to them, and you talk to them about their teammates. And so when you hear all the old linemen, and it's like kind of consistent across the board that Dan Hayes is a guy that always gets mentioned, you start going, oh, okay. And then you start watching him, and you combine the two. And
that's interesting. Fascinating. There's so many pieces, so many new parts, so many elements to this. I'm fascinated. I can't wait for that. I mean, I'm just, for some reason, I guess we're doing this again, so I'm heating up, right? But I'm more excited than I have been since I was doing this before. Yep. As a season ticket holder now, year 5, with the kids, moving from the 4th deck to the 1st, still in the end zone.
Unique double perspective.
Yeah, I moved down 3 decks. So I'm excited. I'm excited about it, man. I really am. Now, as you might anticipate, I probably prepped enough for 3 hours, so we're not going to do it all. And I got to end right at 1. Is that right?
Yeah, whenever. Yeah.
All right.
I mean, I don't know what this deal is, Gabe. We just did it.
Okay, good. Well, I found out that we were going live
when
you said it on air. So
And
got here
I
at
just said it. I didn't even know it. I came in here today and we're talking to the Holloways out there in the lobby, and I'm getting ready to eat some barbecue, and I was like, wait a second. I think this might be live. And I came in here and I asked Nick, is this live?
This is my relationship with a big brother that I never knew I needed.
Same. I have no brothers.
And it's
you
like,
and the McKinneys.
Are we doing this live? And if I hadn't heard you, then I'm on a 3:31 flight and we're recording this tomorrow.
Yeah,
But I'm thrilled we're going live. There's just a different element to it.
For sure.
The other cool thing is people are like, hey, be ready to vamp because it's Liucci. And I go, nuh-uh, there's no TV, no radio. We're starting when he shows up.
Yeah.
I love that too.
Now we gotta go on time.
Start the daggum stream. We'll do it live. So there are going to be some things I'm not going to keep, or we'll just save for later.
Okay.
All right. But there are some cool elements that I do want to get in. Like I'm going to ask on probably TexAgs and definitely on X, Twitter.
Questions.
From Section 12. Don't forget, we were calling our listeners that long before the right center field bleachers. All right. So it is. I'm not stealing that. And
we get stolen from a lot.
And then we're going to do a little 2-minute Easton's Corner. We're going to look at some couple games, and then we've got to do buy, sell, or rent. I think you're going to love this game.
Let's roll.
There's all kinds of stuff we got to do. Let's get into buy, sell, rent.
Okay.
I think you're going to like this. Okay. He'll tell me if he doesn't.
Okay.
Buy, sell, or rent, presented by Aria Luxury Condos at College Station. The Aria, formerly Gateway Apartments, now luxury condos at Holloman, just 3 minutes. Holloman and Welborn, right across the tracks, 3 minutes. Used to be Sterling.
Yes.
Back in your heyday, then Gateway. Now it's the Aria. So they bought these, turned them into condos. It's not apartments anymore. College investment properties, parent investment, short-term rentals. If you want a place to spend the weekend, this is the spot too. Eye-popping amenities, 2 pools, pickleball, the biggest golf simulator you've ever seen, a red light room, which was Megan's request. I don't even know what that is.
I don't either.
Unreal workout gym with like roll-up doors and much, much more. Bock Realty's running sales 292 units to sell over the next 3 years. So all you have to do to get in on that and get a tour is to email me, call me. Gabe at BockRealtyGroup.com. Let's set up a time to get a tour here. Buy, sell, rent. So we're looking all over the SEC.
Okay.
You can pick a team or a player that you're outside of A&M that you're absolutely buying. This can be a team. This is just thinking like an SEC analyst.
Okay.
Or a player that you're so all in on that you're not renting it. Rent to own, you're buying it. Like all in, all
so
stock.
One of each?
First buy.
Okay.
Who or what are you not? No, either or. It can be a team or a player.
Okay. I'm going to leave this guy off because we just talked about him live. I'm buying Lenoris Sellers. I'm gonna buy Diego Pavia. Nobody gives this guy any. No one's they're talking about him like he's a novelty act.
Yep.
All that dude did was beat Bama. He beat Auburn, and I know they weren't good, but that's still Vanderbilt.
Multiple times
That
with
close
multiple
to
teams.
that close to beating Missouri. He beat Haynes King and Georgia Tech, who a lot of people are really high on this year. And he beat and he came within a field goal of beating Texas. They were that close to upsetting Missouri before they upset Bama. Like, this team was close to being really, really good.
Yep.
And I just feel like he doesn't get credit because they think he's just a scrappy dude's a winner. He's a baller. I'm buying Diego Pavia to upset 2 teams this year, not just one.
See, I put him in my rent, but I'm with you. I love him.
Yeah.
He reminds me a lot of Johnny. He'll talk his mess, but he'll back it up.
Yeah.
I think Diego Pavia is good for 3 wins. That's not a bowl team without him.
No.
You get any other guy they've had there between Jordan Rodgers, or maybe even counting him. We all love him, but to Diego Pavia, not a soul gets him to a bowl game last year with that roster.
No way.
He's good enough to do it, and tell you what, he's good enough to do it again, but if you listen to him, he ain't stopping there.
Yeah.
Go win your natty, Diego Pavia.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not buying that much. I'm just buying that this dude's really damn good.
And he believes.
And he ain't getting the love. Even for me, like, I didn't have him ranked high enough, I don't think, on my thing. So I'm buying Pavia.
Did you see him at Atlanta? Is he in reality, about 5'8"?
Yeah, he's not, probably a little taller than that, but he ain't that big. I mean, he's not big
he's
at
a
all.
ball player.
Yep.
I love it. Yep.
And
all right,
then
sell. So
I'm also, by the way, I'm buying Kalen DeMoore.
Are you? Interesting.
With Ryan Grubb. I'm buying that combo.
Okay, yep.
no. I'm sorry. I'm renting that.
Going to say,
okay, that's my
still
rent.
have a trigger guy you don't know much about.
That's my rent because Ty Simpson but the Grubb DeBoer combo, I think that's DeBoer's comfort zone. I think it hurt them and him losing that last year. So that's my rent. I'm picking Bama actually to win the SEC. I don't feel great about it, but I wouldn't feel great about any pick I made.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah, I'm buying South Carolina.
Oh, yeah,
because I love Sellers.
Okay.
And look, I think
you're buying.
I'm buying Carolina.
You're buying.
I'm renting Pavia and buying Carolina, and I'll tell you why. And I think obviously Beamer's a little goofy for my taste.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You're buying Beamer.
He is goofy for my taste, but he gets them ready to play. The way they ended, and they've got a lot of belief over there, and they've got the trigger man.
They do.
If I had to rank them 1 to 16, I'm putting him first.
Me too.
And there's a lot to be said about that. Yep. Look, Cam Newton did it with not a soul that's going to make the NFL on offense, other than Dyer, who shot himself in the foot with off-the-field stuff. Other than that, he had not an NFL player on the offensive side of the ball and one guy on defense. And he got him to the national championship and won.
He did.
This sucker is going to do it all right off the field, too, and he's got a first-round pick or a second-round pick at receiver this year.
Yeah.
So I know Rocket's gone, but I love him.
I'm buying Sellers too.
I think they're 9-2 going to Clemson because they're going to split this one or Ole Miss, and they're going to split Bama, LSU, and they don't get Florida or Georgia. So they also get a lucky draw.
I think they're going to beat LSU, and I think A&M's going to get them here. Yeah. I'm nervous about that game when you look at it.
Yeah, me too.
Because Sellers can win it by himself. Sellers can just he could have one of those Vince Young type seasons where it's just magic. That's what worries you.
I agree.
But I do like it. I think South Carolina, Beamer, they're always going to be that team that's a lot better at home than the road. It doesn't mean they can't win away from home, and it doesn't mean they can't go play well for a game. But I just think that ultimately gets them because of Beamer and because outside of Sellers, they're leveling up in talent, but they're still going to be playing from behind in certain games. And last year, they weren't. That wasn't the case when they played A&M. They had like 14 guys invited to the combine last year. South Carolina, NIL or whatever, I still don't think they're to a point where they can recover from that and flip it.
Admittedly, I may be undervaluing what they lost.
On defense, a lot.
On the defensive side.
And I question their O-line a little bit. We'll see, but I'm with you. Sellers is magic. And he can overcome everything I just said on any given Saturday, home, road, or whatever. You just don't want to be that unlucky team like A&M was last year when they faced him. And if he wouldn't have got hurt against LSU, they'd have done the same thing to them. They'd have run him right off the field. So
they were up 17-0. I think.
Yeah.
Memory serves.
Yeah, they were. So,
all right, let's see if we have the same in the sell category.
My sell might surprise you.
Okay,
it's a double sell here, and I almost want to sell Nussmeier, but I'm not because of his. I just think there's too much hype around a guy that I think there should be real questions. I think you're down 42-6 to Jalen Milroe in Alabama at home. You threw 3 picks and a half here. You threw a pick 6 against South Carolina that should have lost you the game, and you completed 40% of your passes at home against Ole Miss. To act like there aren't.
Dang.
But,
that's good stuff.
But I think that dude could just as easily go light up Clemson this weekend and come out of week 1 as a Heisman favorite. So I wouldn't risk putting my name on a sell with him. But I would risk this, Gabe. Gunner Stockton / Georgia this year. And remember, these are standards. Mm-hmm. This is Georgia. This is Kirby.
Yeah.
I'm selling.
They could make the playoffs and still be a sell. That would be validated. Yeah.
I'm selling them. I'm not buying them as a national title contender under Gunner Stockton, and I don't think they win the SEC.
Yeah. I'm going to go OU. I do like material a lot.
Good one.
So in September, I took Easton. We like to go to road trip Ranger games. I saw Ted Lilly Darren Oliver beat Ted Lilly at Old Yankee Stadium with the Rangers.
And I was in the Bob Lilly.
I was in the fray of it with wearing Rangers and Aggie stuff. Okay.
Oh, wow.
And so I like doing that, going to the old, especially Easton. So we went to Safeco. Well, it's called T-Mobile. Yeah. We went to a Friday, Saturday in Seattle. Yeah. And we went to the Apple Cup at Lumen where the Seahawks played. And it was an 11 o'clock local time kick. the same day Marcel Reed happened in Gainesville.
Oh, wow.
We were watching that on our phone while we were watching what was going to be a Washington blowout.
Mhm.
Remember, that was Jed Fish taking over for DeBoer.
Yep.
But Ward had just gone to Miami, and this dude just balls out on the Huskies.
Oh, wow.
And his name was John Mateer. And I walked away that day going, that dude is an absolute player. But here's the deal about OU. I hadn't gotten it going in a while. And some people, and we've seen this local, like some people are meant to be coordinators and some people are meant to be head coaches. And I just got a sense that Brent Venables is meant to be a coordinator.
I agree.
And he's going to be on the hot seat, which may boil over this year. So I'm selling OU.
Think of Bo Pelini,
No
who,
question.
by the way, had a lot more success as a head coach than Brent Venables has.
Nebraska got tired of going 9-4 every year.
Yeah, but think of Bo Pelini, and you were in the middle of that Bo
I was
Pelini
definitely
temper, right?
in the middle of the meatheads.
That's another one video we could have pulled.
Well,
out.
we're going to do a remember when segment now and then, and we're going to remember the meathead moment and tell those from first person accounts.
Yeah, so that meathead moment.
Like the night Johnny won the
somebody
Heisman,
told
I
me
wound
when
up on
you-
the side of the curb.
Yes,
at 5
on the
a.m.
flower pot.
Yes.
I thought you broke
I took
your
on
hip.
the flower pot.
I thought you broke your
and
hip.
won, mind you.
But I'm watching Venables, and I'm like, a coach told me this. He's like, you can do that as the coordinator, as the head coach. You can't live on tilt. You can't be so emotional that you live on level 10 at all times in the building, day to day, weight room, talking to your and that's what it feels like Venables does. And it's just it's unsustainable because you have to be able to kind of be the steady force on those highs and lows. I just don't think he can, and there's nothing I've seen from him that has impressed me in terms of his win and loss. So yeah, I like Mateer. Yeah, I like that they're kind of overhauling it. I'm a big Jim Nagy fan. We've known him for a long time.
Definitely.
And he'll probably be there after, but we'll see. But yeah, I'm with you. I'm not buying. I'm buying them to get better, but I'm not buying this big jump that's something.
All right. Buy, sell, rent, presented by the ARIA. We'll see how that switches. It may go back to that like every other week, something like that. Now, one thing we're going to do is quick rapid fire from Section 12. But before that, Easton's Corner.
What's he got?
You got your earpiece in?
Easton, yeah, I got it.
All right. My soon-to-be 13-year-old son, Easton Bock, is a full-fledged ball knower. Remember, neither of my parents like sports. So I just did this. Well, he's grown up with me.
Yeah.
Who's an
He
absolute.
had no choice.
Yeah, it is ridiculous, right, with it. And so,
That's like
just
y'all's
because I'm not
bonding.
doing it professionally doesn't mean we're not doing it every day. And every day is like, we get anybody in the portal, and every day he's following it, tracking it.
The
Like, this
portal.
guy's got whiteboards of stuff.
He's telling me, him and my friend Tyson's son,
oh, yeah, they need to
they
start
are
a show.
telling me, you're telling me, and Tyson's telling me, and Truman, his son, he's a younger version of Easton,
Heck yeah.
about basketball portal guys
Oh, yeah.
that are available from all over the country.
Easton sent you dudes that
FCS,
I didn't even know
yeah.
existed.
Probably sent Josh Holloway. I bet he's on the list.
He freaked out when we got Oladipo. I never even heard of the guy.
Really?
He's like the Southern Illinois guy.
Yeah, see. So let's
All right.
hear it.
So
What's
here's
Easton?
Easton's take on A&M squad poolside.
Nice.
And then he's got a question for you at the end.
Perfect.
So stay close to this
Let's hear
question.
it.
It's a question I didn't even think about on my own podcast.
Hi, I'm Easton Bock, and I'm so excited for Saturday because it's Texas A&M's first game of college football. There is some questions like with the edge rushers with Nick Scorton and Shamar Stewart being gone, both getting drafted really high. The only thing is, I don't think Shamar Stewart was as good as he seems. He has he's built, he's fit. That's probably why the Bengals drafted him, 17th overall. He got his $17 million contract with the Bengals. I mean, he could be insane for the Bengals. He could be a great NFL player. I could just be eating my words. But right now, I don't think he's as good as he seems. And we have Torian York, Dez Ricks, and a bunch of other Scooby Williams. We have a bunch of other, and we have 2 blankets, one that transferred from Georgia. I mean, we're just going to be, with 2 blankets on our team, we're going to have a crazy defense, and that's not even the best part. That's the biggest question mark. now on the offense, we have a crazy offensive line with Marcel Reed at quarterback. So if you just block Marcel Reed, he could run for days. Then you have Le'Veon Moss, who's just a built guy, and he can just power through the defense. Same thing. Marcel Reed and Le'Veon Moss, two totally different players, have the same role, though. And Marcel Reed can also throw. He's not just a runner. He can throw it all he wants, especially when you have the 4 threats at wide receiver with Terry Bussey, Mario Craver, Casey Concepcion, and Ashton Bethel-Roman. I think that's all that I have to talk about for college football. The last thing that I want to add is I have a question for you, Billy. Who do you think is the best receiver out of Mario Craver, Ashton Bethel-Roman, and Terry Bussey?
Oh.
That's all I got for y'all.
And he was like, I got to
Great
ask Billy this
question.
question because you have to have a really good number 2.
Yeah. Well,
Okay.
and he got me because I thought he was
Yeah.
going to say Concepcion. I
Right.
said, man, that dude just jumps out at me every time I see him run a route.
Yeah.
Um,
But he understands the importance. We talked about this at corner, but you got to have that second guy, Alvin Harper to Irvin type of deal.
It's a
John
great-
Taylor to Rice.
It's a great question. And it's funny as he was talking, we haven't mentioned Bussey or York or Scooby.
Yeah.
I mean, Bryce Anderson had a really good camp. I know people, were sitting there, and I love the strides Marcus Ratcliffe has made, but nobody talks like, hey, Bryce as a senior looks like a much improved player. We'll start to see it this weekend. He's got to show it. All 3 of those safeties, I think, have to show. Like, I think Dalton Brooks wants to make this jump. Can he do it? We have to see it in action on the field. These guys got to tackle and wrap up and take better angles and make more plays on the ball, all that. So that's another see it. Like, I could see it, but I have to see it type thing.
Yep.
And so to me, that's still a little bit of a concern despite experience. Going back to this question, Easton, great question. I expect nothing less. We're going to get them every week. But
Well, he broke his thumb and got it hung
Yeah,
up
what was
in
that?
he got his left thumb hung up in a shoulder pad playing football. Because he came home and he's like, there's 2 girls playing, Dad. Mom, let me play. He wants to play. He came home first day of school and he was begging to play. And I'm like, that's fine if she's good with it, but you're a pitcher. I don't want you to get hurt.
he's a righty, though, right?
Yeah, thank God. But still, I mean, he's out. DeStefano saw him yesterday. Anyway, he's a little depressed because he's not golfing. He's not playing
Well, it hadn't
baseball, he's not
affected
playing
his
football.
questions.
So, yes, he was fired up to do this.
Good.
So there you
good.
go.
Well,
What's
Easton,
the answer?
I don't want to, if it makes him feel better or not, but I broke my hand my senior year, spring of football, and I was in a cast. It happened like the day before the spring game, so I didn't get to play in the spring game, and it was before your senior season. And then summer baseball, the very first pitch, because I'm a lefty,
Oh,
so my hand's first pitch, get hit on the hand, re-break it.
oh
So
my
it was the summer.
gosh.
But it didn't affect. I got to play, both my senior year, and it was fine. But
Okay.
he'll be fine.
Good.
And you need a little football injury, I think, to get you
Toughened up.
to.
a
Yeah,
little.
it's
a little
just like,
soft.
hey, I'm a football player. There's injuries. Like Le'Veon Moss said, I ain't running out of bounds. Oh, you're going to hurt me? You think that's going to make me run out? No, I'm coming back. So you'll be back. Tackle them. Don't go easy on the girls. Tackle them too, Easton. If they're on the team, tackle them. Don't worry about your thumbs.
One of them's a lineman. She's pretty
Really?
good, apparently. Yeah.
Times have changed.
Yeah.
Although I
Yep.
see that Sophie Cunningham in the WNBA, your girl Sydney Colson's teammate
Yep.
with Indiana Fever, she was a kicker
Is that
for her high school team. Yeah, there's footage like her kicking in games. But anyway, second receiver,
Yeah.
really tough one. I think total package. I think about Bethel Roman, but man, when I think of when I watch Mario Craver, I just think that dude is going to make some explosive plays for this offense this year. Both when he's catching it short, like Mario Craver's that guy that if you hit him on a slant in man coverage, you better tackle him or he might make a house call. And you better check him at the line of scrimmage because if he gets over the top of you, you can throw that ball as far as you want. And he's going to run under it and make a play. So I
Saw it against Georgia and us.
I don't know if I think Bethel Roman has the potential to become a number 2, and I think Terry Bussey is used in so many different ways. I had someone actually, there's this guy that's just, it's like almost like this dude You know the type. This guy, and he was a walk-on on the team. So I was like, imagine if people thought this of you and your teammates. But now as you get older, everybody gets negative and grumpy. It's like he's ready to write Terry Bussey off as a bust after 1 year. And I'm like, he made plays last year.
In the Texas game.
Practicing at corner for half a camp. Oh, by the way, the guy is listed at the or at 2 positions. You basically have 4 starting receivers and punt and kick returner. And they're going to get him the ball on the ground, through the air, in the quick game, all of the above. So Bussey's going to be a huge weapon this year. It's a great question, Easton, on a true number 2. I think ultimately that could be Bethel Roman. But if you're talking about leading yardage guy, number 2, I could see that being Craver because I think he's going to have a lot of chunk plays for this offense.
That's great. All right. If I don't get to a question, that's a good question, and it's relevant. So thank you, Easton. But from Section 12, I always pull. I'm going to pull 3 or 4 at a time. If I don't get them and they're still relevant in future weeks, I'm going to hold on to them. The best question from Section 12 that I got was from Eric. He says this: not much is said about the Aggies hiring safeties coach and associate head coach Lyle Hemphill, who was with Elko before. Mm-hmm. But what do you think of his impact on the safeties this year?
I mean, if what I'm hearing from camp is true, I think he gets a big assist there. And just more of just understanding Elko's system, so where Elko doesn't have to worry about those guys and can really focus on the scheming and play, the defensive calls and just kind of presiding over the whole thing, because he's just got someone he trusts in terms of his system. He trusts Jordan Peterson and Ish, but just to add someone with that experience in his system, the back 7, where Jay Bateman can focus on the front 7 and the run fits, and that's what he's so good at, and alignment up there. And then he also added the same thing offensively. And you talk to some of the quarterbacks and receivers, and the assistant coach they added from the Houston Texans, who's been a longtime college assistant, and he comes over, and he's got background there with the Texans. And where was he before that? Was it Rutgers I think it was Rutgers or Temple? But he comes over, and you got players talking about him a lot in terms of like what he's meaning when they run tempo and 2-minute and things like that, and just kind of that added element and that benefit to Colin Klein. So I think both sides of the ball added just a veteran presence that Mike Elko was just very, very comfortable with in terms of their X's and O's and what they would bring to the table. So there's going to be some Houston Texans element to this offense as well.
Interesting.
Really interesting, and I think the players are buying into it. You got anything else before we?
I tell you what. I mean, obviously, when you're trying to relearn how to ride a bike, you overcorrect maybe. So I have so much that we won't get to, and that's totally fine. There's elements we're going to add into it. Let me ask you a couple quick hitters of the non-A&M games, and this is a great weekend from Thursday, Friday, all the way through Monday. What's the one you got your eye on most? You got Texas, Ohio State.
Yeah, I think that one's obvious. I'll be honest with you. I think Texas wins that one.
Do you? Okay.
I don't know if I want to say comfortably, but I think they get Ohio State, and I think as the season goes on, I think you're going to realize a couple of people might get Ohio State. They're not going to be like Michigan last year. I knew Texas was going to throttle Michigan. They're not going to be like that. But I don't think they're going to be anything close to what they just were. I just think they lost too much. So unless I'm just grossly underestimating Julian Sand, I just don't think the Buckeyes can block Texas Saturday. And I think whether it's a low-scoring game or whether Texas uses those defensive stops and sacks and things like that to pull ahead and pull away, I think Texas wins that game.
Well, Day's showing how soft he is by not letting Portnoy on the field.
That's ridiculous.
And Bjork. I mean, come on.
Yeah,
that tells me all I need to know. I had Ohio State until that moment.
Yeah, I think Texas wins that one off their defense and their pass rush and their ability to stop the run. Ohio State lost 2 great running backs, Judkins and Henderson, and they lost Will Howard and a couple stud offensive linemen. So, and then you combine that with what Texas has in that front 7, and I just think it's tough to expect them to run it. It puts them behind the chains. Then Simmons and Hill can pin their ears back and go after Sand. Makes it really hard to get them to the big advantage, which is those wide receivers.
Yeah.
I don't like the matchup. There are other teams that I think will give Texas problems this year. Ohio State, for whatever reason, and I could be completely wrong, not at the top of the list. I hope I'm wrong.
I do too.
We all know I hope. We all hope I'm wrong. But the Clemson LSU is the one that I'm really interested in. Death Valley, one Death Valley to the other.
One Tigers to the
Messmeyer,
other.
Klubnik.
Yeah.
Dabo, this in South Carolina are really their big shots at it. And then, the bookend shots at it. And then they're going to kind of go quiet for the rest of the season with people questioning who they're playing. So he needs it.
Yeah.
Lord knows Brian Kelly needs it. If he loses that game, goes 6-2 in SEC, and they're 9-3 and don't go to a playoff, like Moscona said, if he can't make it to the playoff this year, you got to start wondering if he's making it in Baton Rouge. So it's a massive game, and I'm really interested to see it. And then
it really is. Notre Dame at Miami.
Yeah.
I think the Beamer Bowl's interesting. Tech, South Carolina.
I love Notre Dame, Miami for our own selfish reasons. I want to see what Notre Dame's quarterback position looks like. And I want to see what their defense looks like after losing so much. So I want to try it in my head, even though I know it doesn't fully carry over, but just to get a little gauge of how I feel I like A&M's chances. The quiet one, though, Gabe.
Down the street.
One. Right up
Down
the road,
street.
right up
That's
Highway
right.
6.
Yep.
Baylor and Auburn.
War freaking Eagle. We ain't going back there again.
Baylor
We
and
sang
Auburn.
about that.
Baylor and Auburn. I Sawyer Robertson v. Jackson Arnold. Feels like Sawyer Robertson's better quarterback. Jackson Arnold's upside is pretty damn high. His receivers are a lot better than what Sawyer's thrown. We'll see. It's going to be. I think that's going to be a hell of a football game.
I think so too. That's going to be good. That's Friday night.
Yeah,
that's going to be great.
I picked Baylor early in the week. I'm starting to think about Auburn's line of scrimmage on both sides and their defense and those wide receivers. I'm just getting a little. I think I'm gonna, when we do the picks Friday, flip it.
SEC physicality. Aranda will be ready for it, but it's a different level than what the players are used to for sure. All right, let's land the plane then, Billy. Number 19 A&M, UTSA. Season opener, Saturday, Kyle Field. Excitement's building. Obviously, it's going to be a crescendo Saturday night when that drum cadence hits. And this team that we're all fired up to see is favored by 24.5. Give me one thing you're looking for, and then I'm going to hit you with a ball prediction on the way out.
Okay. I want to see this defense when tested. And I think they're going to get tested. UTSA's got a great scheme. They got a veteran QB that's done it, and he's a McCown. We know what those guys are made of up and down that family tree.
Yep.
They got veteran running back. They got veteran receivers. They got portal guys coming in. They got receiver that was hurt a lot of last year from North Shore. That was Amador. That's damn good. They returned their whole line. They're coached by Traylor's brother, who I've known forever and consider him a good friend. This team is a veteran offensive group that, as Elko said, was humming late in the year. So it is going to be a legitimate game one test for not a lot of new faces, but some new faces and a lot of guys that need to be a lot better than they were last year on that side of the ball. So it's a good test for the Aggie offense. I don't think I see A&M covering this one. I do see the Aggies, winning by a couple scores, but I think it's going to be like an earned thing and
not a midway through the third quarter dogfight and you're down 3 and like, oh shoot, we got to
I hope not.
I hope not.
I hope not. I don't think I want to see the A&M offense do better than that.
Yeah.
I want to see the A&M offense with all these guys we talked about, spent most of the show talking about. I want to see those guys come out and moving the ball on the ground, throwing it, because on the flip side, and I know it's hard, Elko mentioned it, there's all new faces. They lost everyone on the defense. So it's a bunch of portals and names you kind of recognize, like Banks and Blacksher. But they still lost everyone. So I do want this offense to be the one that carries the load enough to where you get your defense where, hey, if we get off the field 3 and out or a 20-yard drive, we'll get the ball right back to you, go down and score and start putting some distance. I don't think it's going to be it's not the easiest opener by any stretch. And I think it is a challenging opener, and that's nothing but respect for the program
for sure
that Traylor's built there. at UTSA. I mean, they've been good for a while on their level, and this is a guy and a coaching staff that's gonna, even though they wouldn't talk about that today, they're gonna make the leap. They're gonna be somewhere like Waco or Fayetteville or somewhere in the not too distant future.
Yeah. All right. I'm gonna
Bald prediction.
I gotta see Hal be the guy we know he to be because he did it.
Who'd you say?
Cassius.
Oh,
Because he
Howell,
did it in spurts last year.
Yeah.
Now he's the guy. Go be the guy.
Right.
So ball prediction is a little bit more of a season prediction.
Okay.
I'm going bald here, but I think Cassius Howell doubles the amount of sacks that Scorton and Stewart had
You're saying
last year
12
together.
sacks.
13.
Okay.
Cassius Howell, they were at 6.5. Scorton and Stewart combined for 6.5. I'm telling you, I think Cassius Howell doubles that number by himself. And how huge would that be?
That'd be a hell of a year. And you're talking about a sack a game.
I think he's good enough for it. He's going to be a first couple round pick. I think he's productive.
I think he's going to have multiple sacks in multiple games. So, yeah, I mean,
Again,
I would
bold
come
predictions
in-
don't even have to come out true, but I'm just feeling
no,
a little bold.
I would come in just under that.
Okay.
I think
All right.
I think a double-digit sack season. I'm buying what you're selling here.
Okay.
If you made me go, like if you put it over under at 12.5, I might go under. If you put the over under at 9.5, I'd go over. I think he's going to be a double-digit sack guy, and hopefully he gets started this weekend because, again, yeah, they return a bunch of starters up front. I think their right tackle, who he'll probably be going up against a lot, or probably be on the left, but the right tackle was a signee of, he signed with Texas out of high school. So, I mean, these are legit names. You've seen them, you recognize them. But, yeah, I want to see these edge rushers beat these UTSA tackles and get after McCown and make things difficult on them.
I tell you what, that was the fastest hour I've had in 4.5 years.
And it was an hour and 20
That was
minutes.
fun. That was a lot of fun. Yeah,
All right,
absolutely.
buddy.
Number one in the books, man.
Good to see you back.
All right.
Good to be back.
Meet us right here on TexAgs.com and YouTube every Wednesday at noon. It's Looch Bock, A&M UTSA, Saturday, 6 o'clock in the season opener at Kyle Field. We'll have so much to break down and react to next week. Gig 'em. Let the good times roll. We'll talk to you next week.